Spinning. All right. It looks like we're live. I'm going to run the intro. Hey guys, Ryan here with Neil from Merchinformer. He's someone I've looked up to since I began my print-on-demand journey because his tools have been helping sellers like me establish themselves and achieve success selling print-on-demand on places like Amazon, and as we're going to show you today, off of Amazon with the new tool. So what's up, Neil?
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to have you here. And like I said last week when I did my first ever live stream, I'm new to this stuff, but I'm excited to put in the reps, practice, get better.
It gets easier as you go along. I mean, I might still have my awkward moments here and there, but it's pretty fun. I like to interact with people, answer questions, go over stuff, and in real time where it's not like a back and forth, but you can actually do it here and now, and you don't have to be waiting for anything or anyone.
And welcome people watching. I am new to using this software called Streamlabs. And if you see me peeking over here at my side monitor, it's so that I can monitor the comments and say hello to people. What's up, people currently watching? Got a couple people out there commenting on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. And just so you guys know, if you can't watch the whole thing, I know some of you guys are at work. The replays will be available on YouTube as well as in my Ryan's Method Passive Income Facebook group. So Neil, again, thank you for being here. And
of course,
I have seen some people talking about a new tool published under Merchinformer. So do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So just to give some backstory on all of this, about 5 to 6 months ago, a bunch of people were coming to me and saying, hey, I'm seeing great success on Merch by Amazon. I'm making money. I work a normal 9 to 5 job. This is kind of my side income, my side hustle. Is there any way I can take these designs and put them on other platforms? I've seen people doing really well on Redbubble. I know that people are making money on Etsy. I just don't have the time to get my stuff up there and selling. And so we started thinking to ourselves, well, yes, that's possible. But, these platforms like Redbubble, like Etsy, Printful, stuff like that, huge platforms. And I wanted to make sure, okay, if we're going to do this, let's do it the right way. So, 6 months ago, 5 months ago, whatever it was, we decided to start getting in touch with these companies. We finally managed to actually run everything through their legal departments and everything, got the green light.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we built a tool after talking to these people for months and months and months that will allow you very easily to take your print-on-demand assets. So when I say assets, in this case, we're talking about designs, and get them selling everywhere else where customers actually are. Because at the end of the day, like me and you, we might buy all our stuff on Amazon because it's easy and simple. But there are a lot of customers who only shop on Redbubble for t-shirts, who only shop on Etsy, who only shop on Spreadshirt. And if you're not using your assets, and again, in this case, designs, where the buyers are, you're basically like leaving a bunch of money just sitting on a table that you can't touch. So the tool is going to basically, when in one interface, that's why we call this single upload interface, allow you to take all your designs and spread them all over the internet so that you can bring in more royalties into your business.
Dude, it's genius. And as somebody who, I'm going to go off on a tangent really quickly about in college, studied IT, and currently, even though I quit my 9 to 5 job last week, I still work teaching IT at a local university. And man, there's one thing I always say to the students, and it's that if we're going to be doing something more than once, like if we're uploading a print-on-demand design and we're going to be putting the title field more than once into multiple little text boxes on different platforms, this is a shortcut, basically making it so that we don't have to do that again, right?
At the end of the day, like for me, uploading is the worst. It's the worst process. It's boring. It's tedious. It's mind-numbing. And if you can do it one time, like you said, and then reuse that one time everywhere, not just Amazon, but like everywhere there's actual customers, you're doing yourself a huge favor.
Dude, it's so true, man. Uploading used to be the bane of my existence, but
yeah, same.
It's like one of those things that I would never tell people to jump straight into using automation. Like definitely if you hop on a new platform, do a couple manually, get a feel for sure what's going on. Different platforms have different requirements for like tags, for instance, like Etsy, 13 tags, 20 characters. Different platforms have different requirements. It's good to be familiar with those before you jump straight into what we're going to be showing you today on this live stream.
Yeah, something else to mention too is I just want to back up what you just said is that it's really good to do a few uploads yourself on the platform. One, because you want to make sure that you actually set up your account properly. So your name, your business information, especially your bank account information so you can get paid. I mean, nothing is worse than making a bunch of sales and seeing zero money. So you want to make sure everything is set up first, but also because some of these platforms have like internal tiers. So in like Merch by Amazon, you start at tier 10 and they explicitly tell you this is how many you can upload. A lot of these other platforms, they have internal tiers. So you might get blocked after uploading X number of designs for that day simply because they don't want you uploading 10,000 designs at once. Yeah, and the only reason you would know that is because you've uploaded a few by yourself or you logged in and interacted with the platform.
Absolutely. And I came prepared today. I've been tinkering with the tool for the past week since I initially found out about it, and I prepared a demo of it that I'd love to show off to the audience, just how easily you can set this thing up. I'll be honest, the first time I went through it, I watched your video, Neil, on YouTube. It took me 10 minutes. It took me 10 minutes to have
the longest part of it, like I'm sure we'll show, is the CSV file. Like if you can type a few things, aka a title, a description, and set up one file, that's 98% of the work done.
I just realized my webcam is like completely out of focus. Out and then back in. Like I said, new to this. I'm also using a green screen. That like really nice room behind me is not real. Sorry guys. I wish I lived in that house.
Mine is real. I have this boring wall with a chainsaw right there.
Dude, yeah, I'm in my bedroom, so it's like you'd see my bed behind me if I didn't have the green screen. So
that's awesome.
I had to do it. But yeah, guys, this tool is seriously amazing, and what I'm going to speak to in my demo, since I'm not a stranger to using CSV uploads for putting these kind of uploads on autopilot and uploading to different platforms all at once. I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to give you my method basically that I use to speed it up, because like Neil said, the spreadsheet is probably the slowest part of it. After that, it's actually just autopilot. So.
Yeah, I mean, after that, all you do is select a platform and then select a few buttons to say, hey, what do I want to match up to my file I just uploaded? And then you just click go. So
yeah, dude, I love that part, man. Yeah. By the way, what's up, guys? What's up, Tawfiq, Biplab, Tomo? These are a lot of random YouTube names, so that's why they're weird names. If you guys are on Facebook and you want to drop a comment, let me see if that pulls into Streamlabs, or sorry, I keep saying Streamlabs. It's called
StreamYard. Yeah, there we go.
I do have Streamlabs installed, but this is StreamYard, and I'm loving the software so far. But what's up, guys? Drop me a comment, say hello if you are excited to watch this demo. But Neil, was there anything else you wanted to add before I kind of share my screen and show?
No, I guess the last thing I would add is this is actually inside of merchinformer.com. It's not like its own separate tool. It's just included. We're not like charging people any extra money for it. It's under the pro level subscription. So there's a 3-day trial if you want to check it out and follow along after you watch the video. So yeah, other than that, let's take it away.
That's a tremendous value, because what's the pro cost? Like $19.99?
$19.99, yep.
Yeah. And I believe if you guys haven't signed up on Merch Informer yet, I have a discount code that someone on Neil's team was very kind and hooked me up with. I'll be sharing that with you guys later if you stay till the end. And yeah, it should save you, I believe, 20% off your initial subscription. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to share my screen now. And what's cool about Streamlabs, it gives me options of how to do this. So pretty cool. All right, here we are. You can see my screen. I'm going to reset. And actually, I wrote down kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 easy to follow step-by-step list that I will share with you guys after this. I'll put a link either in the description, or if you're on my email list, I'll just do an email blast and share this with you guys too. But first things first, you want to get started, you need to log into Merch Informer and download the single upload interface. Again, like Neil said, there's a pro subscription requirement. It's only $19.99 a month. And if you haven't joined, you can use my promo code RYANSMETHOD, all one word, save 20%. So real quick, I'm logged into Merch Informer. Up here, it's highlighted in
giant green button.
I mean, it stands out. You did a good job making it obvious. And yeah, just go ahead and click Windows or Mac, whichever you're using. So I went ahead, I downloaded it for Windows. So next step, double click, install. There's nothing to it. Hit next. It'll probably want to install some updates, so let it do that. And here's where I'm going to actually provide some value now. So next step is we need to create a CSV file. And this is operating under the assumption that you've already got some designs created. So I have like, I don't know, 10 designs created in this folder, all related to beards. All right. This is kind of a design strategy I'll use at times. You know, I'm in Amazon merch tier 20,000. So Neil, what tier are you in?
Tier 40,000 right now. I actually have access to a few different accounts that we run for friends and do some revenue shares. So it's a good way to expand once you know what you're doing.
Do you need a VPN with like a dedicated IP or what? How does that work?
No, so like for example, let's just say I have a buddy who's like, oh, you're making all these designs. How do I get on that? And I'll be like, well, you know what? I will show you and do the research for you and have a designer do all of that for you. And you kick me back 50%. You kick me back 60%. So I'll give them all the stuff they need. They do the work, and I sit back and get paid because I know what I'm doing. So you basically teach people and take a royalty from their royalties as a way to kind of expand your business in another way. And not like almost no one I know does that, but it's a way that I kind of just for like friends, local friends, you know, to expand my business.
Brilliant. And real quick before I continue, Andrew asked if using a tool like this is against the terms of service for Amazon merch. And
yeah, so this is not for merch by Amazon. It's right now 4 platforms. So Printful, which actually integrates with 1.5 million. I mean, they integrate with Amazon. They integrate with eBay. They integrate with Etsy. Then you have, so we have Printful, Spreadshirt, which we just added, Redbubble, and Teespring. So as you see on Ryan's computer right here, like Printful itself integrates with all of these platforms. So if you set your Printful account up to integrate with these platforms by clicking connect and going through all the steps, you can actually upload to one place, which is Printful, and Printful will push your designs all over those different platforms.
Yeah, Printful is incredibly powerful. It is my print-on-demand production partner of choice. It's my recommended one. I've done comparisons between the ones that are available, the well-known ones before, and Printful stands out in my mind above the rest.
They do. They have a big enough team where they don't fall behind as often, I guess you could say, as some of the other smaller guys.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. And actually, I wish I could have live streamed it back then, but I got to do like a one-on-one with the CEO too for like an hour. So got a lot of good takeaways from that. Yeah, good guy. Cool. So jumping back into things, guys, the next step, we need to create a CSV file, which you can just, if you're on Windows, you can just right click, go to new, and do Microsoft Excel worksheet, and then you'll just save as CSV. So what I went ahead and did is kind of prepared this ahead of time so that we don't have to do it all in real time. Like I said, I've got about 10 designs here that we can use as demos, and I have a CSV file. By the way, the file name does not matter, right, Neil?
Correct. And it can also be, you don't have to put your title columns first. Like the columns need to be there, but you can put them in any order you want.
Okay, cool. So the column headers are flexible. So as you see here, I kind of followed off your YouTube example. But what's cool, guys, is that this is all very flexible, like Neil said. The order doesn't matter. You can add columns in if you want. I'm going to show you how easy it is to use the single upload interface app in a second. I just wanted to walk you through filling out this spreadsheet. And as I promised, I wanted to show you some shortcuts. So what I'm going to do here is save these 2 column values. Sometimes when I'm working really quickly and going for bulk designs, like the reason I shared them in tier 20,000 Amazon merch is that when you're trying to fill 20,000 upload slots, like Neil probably knows as well, being in tier 40,000, sometimes you got to like take one graphic and mix in different text with it and kind of tackle different sub niches with the same graphic. So that's basically, do you do that sometimes, Neil?
Rarely. Basically what I'll do is I will upload a bunch of designs. I'll swing back maybe a week or a month later and see what sells. And the stuff that sell, that's what I will scale out or go into those niches even heavier.
Got you. So usually I'll just like kind of take this approach, only upload to standard, and then I'll expand the product types, like you said, based on success. So a quick little trick. I'm going to delete these existing columns and show you how fast like I can, if I have a folder of similar designs, meaning like similar keywords and a description that could be shared between them and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. This is how quickly and easily I fill out my spreadsheets. So what I like to do is, what I'll do right now is I click 1 and then I hold down the shift key on my keyboard. This is for Windows users. Sorry, Mac users. I've never used the Mac. I don't know how to help you guys. But if you hold down shift and left click so that you select everything, and then I'm going to control click the layout file, which by the way, does not need to be in the same folder. This is just a habit of mine to keep it all grouped up. But I'm going to hold shift and right click the last file. And when you hold shift and right click, you get this option that says copy as path, and it won't be there if you're not holding shift. So I'm going to click that. And then under my file path column, which I named image, you could call this like image path if you wanted to. It's really up to you. Like Neil said, it's flexible.
Yep.
And I'm just going to paste. All right. And pretend the description and tags aren't there. So I just pasted the file paths there dynamically from my computer, from the hard drive. And that's going to take care of that as far as the uploader is concerned. But now I want to show you guys a quick note about how I name my files. I name my files what I would use as the title. So for the design that says like who wants a beard ride, I just name it who-wants-a beard ride, etc. And then I come into this free program called Notepad++. I am a web developer, by the way, so I make this look easy. It might not be as easy as I make it seem, but there's a Control F replace function, and I just have it mass replace the things that I'm not using.
You can also do that with Excel.
Oh, really?
If you don't have Notepad++.
I never claimed to be an Excel wizard, but if you want to show us how, man.
It's the same thing. You just do Control F to find.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then you basically there's like a little replace button. You just click that and you say, okay, Control F .png replace with what, and you just leave it blank if you want to get rid of it.
I've never tried that in Excel, but thank you for sharing. I've been doing this the hard way my whole life.
Well, this actually, I mean, if you're familiar with Notepad++, it should be just as easy. But
yeah, I'm just a creature of habit, man. As a web developer, spent a lot of time in that rich text editor. So, someone asked, could this be applied in Google Drive? Have you tried that in?
You can create your CSVs in Google Sheets, but the thing is, right now the files themselves need to be on your local computer. We haven't set it up to pull the images from like Dropbox or something. Yeah, so all you do, like, let's say you have all your stuff in Google Drive, just download it to your computer and then do what Ryan just said, is pull all the paths from, wherever that file location is on your computer and throw them in your spreadsheet.
Yeah, Google makes it easy to export as a CSV. So I grabbed these values, though, and I pulled them into a free tool called ConvertCase. You can Google it, convertcase.net, and then I'm just going to click capitalized case. And by the way, this is not like necessarily required because you could also just name your files with the proper casing. As a web developer, again, like I just have a habit of not doing that. I like all lowercase because when you're trying to use file pointers in a website and you have like a random assortment of like spaces and uppercase and lowercase, there's nothing worse than that. It creates a massive headache. All right, so I'm going to take the description and tags. By the way, these are just generic. I wrote them ahead of time. And if you noticed, I had the merchant form or keyword finder open here to just grab. I seeded it with the search term beard and just was looking at the results that it returned basically for ideas. But once you paste them, you can just drag the bottom right corner down, and it fills everything in. So pretty easy. Price column. Certain platforms, Neil, do you want to talk about price, basically how it varies from platform to platform?
Yeah, so each platform is going to be a little bit different. Typically, it's going to be the price that you're selling at, all right, not the royalty you're going to be getting. That's going to be a little different for each platform. So let's say you're doing a Teespring upload. If you set it at $19.99, that's going to be the price that shows up on Teespring, not the amount of money you get. So, for example, if you're doing... I'm not super familiar with what products have a really higher price point, but if you're trying to do, say, leggings, for example, and their minimum is $25.99 and you set your price at $19.99, you're going to have a problem, which is why I recommend before you're doing like mass uploading, go into the platforms and run a few manual tests for the product you want. Because remember, guys, you can do products that aren't T-shirts here. That's half the point, is getting your designs up on everything.
Yeah. So good point, Neil. So yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with the platforms, let me well, I'll pull up the actual app in a second and show the platforms, and we can touch on them in a second. But I'm gonna fill in price at $19.99, and I think this should okay, cool. Sometimes Excel auto increments, and I always get worried. So I was like, please work. But we got it working here, and saving CSV files for some reason is weird. If I go for a standard Control S, it's gonna do some weird thing. But if I just try to X out, it should just let me save. So I'm gonna do that. Overwrite the existing.
And notice, guys, he saved it as a .csv in that little drop down.
Yeah.
Not dot, what is it, XLS something?
XLSX, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to zoom in on my monitor, but it's still tough to see. But yeah. And we got Curtis telling us how to also use a function in Excel to make the first letter capitalized. So y'all are just making me look bad for using Notepad+. Let's go. I'm always down to learn new things, so thank you for sharing. So now we got the layout file ready to go. It's locked and loaded. And going back to the 1, 2, 3, 4 steps that I wrote down, we've gone through step 5. We added the columns. At a minimum, just to recap, we recommended adding a title, a description, tags, price, and your image file path. Step 6, populate the columns. We just covered that. Moving on to step 7, we go into the actual app that we installed earlier. It looks like this. Can pull it closer to the center of my screen. Or what we're going to do under CSV table is, Neil, would you recommend always just doing CSV with headers since the app?
Yeah. So when you made your CSV file, remember you put like title, description, image up top. If you did not have those, you'd want to just upload the CSV. But since you do have those are considered headers. And then you can upload as a CSV with headers. So, I mean, it's really how you format it yourself. It makes literally zero difference. But those things up there, title, description, tags, price, image path, those right there are considered headers. So he'd want to click on the upload with headers.
Yeah, and I've not tried without the headers, but the app seems to like play really well with detecting the headers and then auto kind of it pulls them into that drop down basically that we'll show in a second. So I clicked CSV with headers, and I'm going to click the layout CSV that we just created. As you can see, it is, well, hopefully you guys can see. I can't zoom in anymore. I apologize. My screen resolution's at like a pretty high one, so maybe not the best thing ahead of time. I should have thought of that, but it's got basically all the data from, it's paralleling the CSV behind the scenes. It's pulled it into the app successfully, and now we can move on to services. Do you have anything that you'd recommend before that, Neil?
The only thing is right next to this tab is an images tab. Now, if you found it too hard to make an image path or whatever, you could upload your images here, like from a folder or all your images. I've always just done stuff through a CSV file like we just showed. I think that's probably the easiest once you get a hang of it. But if you're having troubles, you can always upload it to the images tab. But other than that, we can keep going for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. And by the way, the image path thing, let me just show you. I'm just going to copy the value from one of the cells and pop over here into the folder. If you're on Windows, and I'm assuming probably Mac too, you can click into like the File Explorer and paste that value from your CSV and hit enter. And then it pulls the file up. Now, Windows sucks at like detecting the white design. And every now and then it like will fill it in with black while I'm resizing.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. If I keep moving, it works. So yeah, but you can see it open the file, so you know it works. That's another way of testing on your own. All right, so back to the app. I'm going to hop on over to services. So real quick, let's just touch on the 4 services that are currently available, and maybe you can talk about like what's coming in the future.
Yeah, so there's Printful, which we talked about a little bit, uploads to a bunch of other platforms. They're not really a marketplace. Most of the people I talk to are using it to integrate and push to Etsy. We also have Teespring, Redbubble, and we just added Spreadshirt as we got the approval from them. So that is the 4 services right now. When more come, I don't want to say which platforms are coming. We have to run all this stuff through the legal departments and all that mumbo jumbo. But when we do add more features or marketplaces, rather, you're going to be able to use the same CSV file. So if you go through the time creating that file, hold on to it, because as soon as a new platform is added, or let's just say we're going through and we're uploading just a Teespring, and you do that today, tomorrow all you have to do is click like maybe a few buttons and click go, and all of a sudden all your stuff's going to Redbubble now. So you can reuse the same spreadsheet. Yeah,
and that's really what makes this so special, honestly, is that you create that one spreadsheet and it's like all systems go on the platforms that are supported. So I was just showing you guys again, like the Printful integrations, and I have a demo Redbubble account set up as well. So I wanted to quickly, while Printful, Teespring, Redbubble, and Spreadshirt are all supported, and like Neil was touching on, like Teespring, Redbubble, and Spreadshirt are their own marketplaces, whereas Printful kind of integrates and fulfills your orders so that you basically have to connect it to different marketplaces, and that way it all happens, automatically. So if you
another thing I should mention too, guys, is if you download this, the first thing I would do is you click on the help button at the top of the software. Please go through the support documentation, because that is going to show you, like, okay, on Redbubble or Spreadshirt, how do I set all this stuff up? Because there's an account for USA, there's an account for DE, there's an account for EU. So in order to make sure you have everything set up correctly, please go over all the quick setup guides. It's very important.
It is quick setup. It's the need to know. It's not full of like too much information.
I kept it real simple.
Redbubble one is. It's 2 pages. It's 4 steps.
Yep.
So, and I'm going to show you guys now how to set up Redbubble real quick, because that's one of my favorite marketplaces to sell on. I call it basically Amazon merch, but just not Amazon. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is with Redbubble, I mean, most of the people I talk to, I've seen this as well. The majority of my sales there are stickers. Mm-hmm. They're almost all stickers, and people are willing to spend, it's a crazy amount of money on these little stickers. It's hilarious.
And what are you, if you don't mind me asking, what are you selling your stickers for, like in terms of markup percentage?
So I'm still playing around with that. I was talking to a guy the other day who said he does 200% markup and he's selling them all day long. I'm typically around like the 60%, 80%, but that's something I haven't really played around with too much. So I don't want to be like, this is what I'm doing, this is the definitive answer. But if someone's getting away with 200% markup, I might have to like try that.
Mess around with it. One of my students from the school I teach at, so like I actually know him in real life. He was in my web development course, but me and him ended up like kind of talking print on demand after class like every week, and we stay in touch to this day. And he hit me up one day and he's like, man, like I'm selling stickers at 150%. So I was like, damn, I gotta get in there. So yeah, guys, if you hop on Redbubble, by the way, it's completely free marketplace, functions similar to Amazon merch, except there's no tiers. And you get 50 uploads a day, which you can easily hit with the assistance of this automated uploader. But if you click your profile and you go over to, is it your profile? And then, no, that's not it. It should say settings, I believe. Here we go.
There we go.
Settings. And then product pricing at the top on the left-hand side. You can configure the markup here. And there's actually an apply to all button that pops up after you enter a value, but I wouldn't get too comfortable using that because like we were just covering, certain products can command a higher price point. So wherever stickers went, this is just my demo account, by the way, so I don't even have this configured, but I have no problem with like 100% markup on stickers. So you can see basically retail price, your margin. They give you a little preview there.
That's really good money for a sticker, your margin.
I know, but you know how like people don't think in terms of like if they're paying $4 for a sticker, they're like, well, it costs $4. They don't really think twice about it, But if you increase the price of a T-shirt from $19.99 to like $25, you'd probably see a more significant hit to your conversion rate.
I definitely agree. But I mean, I know people in real life who have bought a sticker, and I'm like, oh, where did that come from? And they're like, oh, it came from Redbubble. I spent $15 on it. I'm like, $15 for a sticker? I'm like, someone's making good money off you.
And we might as well mention like Printful added stickers a couple months ago. So I've done some test orders. I did a YouTube video about my test.
Redbubble is actually adding, I don't know if they've added it yet. They're going to be adding buttons.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know when it's coming. I know it's supposed to be coming fairly soon, but they're going to do like POD buttons that go on your shirt. So
gotcha. Yeah, man, that's cool. That'll be good in election season. So
yeah, no kid. That's probably why they're trying to get them out.
If they can get that out soon.
Oh man.
All right, so jumping back into the app, under services, click Redbubble. Or, I mean, I'm going to show you Redbubble. You can go in any order you want. These can actually all run. It doesn't run simultaneously, but it'll run them one after the next and create a queue. I can show you that later.
Yeah, and the setup is literally extremely similar to all the other ones. All you have to do here, which Ryan will show you, is, I mean, you're doing the same thing a few times over. So
under picture here at the top, now this is why we did the headers on our CSV. This dropdown has populated with our headers from the CSV that's right here. All right, so whoops, I just launched an app that I did not mean to launch. My bad. The similar teal of both apps is like confused me. All right. Jumping back into the single upload interface, you'll notice it pulled in image path. So I'm going to click that and associate that with picture. For background color, I was running a test earlier. You don't actually need to put anything there because it just defaults to black, right?
Right, and right now it's basically we need to push an update for the background color just for like t-shirts and everything with people using white text, which should be out in the next couple days. But right now, I mean, you can either put that in your CSV file. You can actually click that black box, which will open up a color picker, or you can enter in the hex code there. So there's like 3 different ways you can select.
I was running some tests, so don't worry. I already set the default product to one that would guarantee. For the most part, though, like probably 85% of the products, because I just had it pushed to all, took on the background color. It was only a handful that didn't.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so we can just leave that at black. Markup percentage, guys, I like to configure it at the account level. So I'm not going to...
Hey, Ryan, can you share your screen?
So oh, crap. Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Cool.
Good point. So yeah, color picker here. Thank you for reminding me.
Yep.
So where it says choose data call, I'm just going to leave that blank. And markup percentage, I like to configure that at the account level. So I'm going to leave that blank as well.
Yeah, and just one thing, if I can jump in here, you can, there's so many different things that you can configure. So like you were just showing, you can either configure that at the account level on Redbubble, you can enter in a manual percentage there, or you can put it in your spreadsheet. So your spreadsheet doesn't need to be in any particular order. You could have a column for background color.
Yeah,
you could have a column for markup. You could fill whatever you want in there, and all you're doing in the settings of the single upload interface is just mapping it to what you want on that platform.
Yep, like right here, I could put markup percentage and just like that, have it. We'd have to by the way, guys, you make changes to your CSV, you have to go back to the CSV table and
just re-upload it. Yep.
Clear all and re-upload. Yeah. So just so you know, I'm not going to do that now though, because like I said, I like to keep that blank, but that's a good point to note. All right. So real quick, title. Well, I think because I was in here earlier, it's already set up. It's data call. And then I would just set that to title. But as you guys can imagine, tags, we set to tags. And if you named your headers something else, like if you called it keywords instead of tags, it would reflect that here.
Yep. All you're doing right here is just picking whatever column matches up to what you're trying to upload on the platform.
Yep. And if you've never uploaded to Redbubble, it is like super simple. I mean, literally, this is what they ask you for: title, tags, and description. So it's 1, 2, 3. It's so easy. It's easier than Amazon merch. So there's no reason not to be uploading to Redbubble. Take advantage. And by the way, guys, if you're like, you haven't seen any of my income reports that I publish each month, I break down how many sales I get from each of these platforms. And they're all made available on ryanhogue.com/income reports. Now, I normally, like, if you go to my Amazon merch section, I distinguish between like sales, revenue, royalty, etc. Now, these are things I actually do track for the platforms that we'll be showing you today, but I don't publish because it's like way too much of a headache, honestly, to get revenue from like all of these platforms as opposed to just profit, which is usually just a click or two away. But yeah, you can monitor my progress by just following my blog or subscribing to my email list. I send an email blast after I publish those. All right, so down here, the Redbubble product types. Neil, what's your favorite product type? We already talked stickers.
Stickers is basically what I'm trying to upload everything to. The one caveat here that I do want to make clear is that I would suggest, before selecting all and just blasting your Redbubble account with everything, do a manual upload. Make sure it looks good. Make sure the image path you're using is actually the correct size and dimensions. I've been having a lot of success with just the t-shirts and stickers. But for example, in there's leggings, right? So some of your designs might not look so great on leggings, which is probably why you have it unchecked.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's
one.
basically what I would do is upload to the products the designs are going to look good, and then manually do it. And then once you've confirmed, hey, this looks great, all right, let's get everything up.
For sure. And I was actually, while you were talking, pulling up my Redbubble year in review that's published to my blog, and kind of like broke down. Well, for one, it breaks down my Redbubble numbers on the year last year. So I made $2,600 profit.
I think we should point out too is like that's $2,600 from designs you already had.
Yeah,
right? It's not like new designs specifically for Redbubble.
Exactly. And it's easy when we're all thinking like six figures, or you look at my FBA numbers, which usually like blow this away, and think like, well, what is $2,600? But at the same time, like working a 9-to-5 job, you get a $2,600 bonus. Or
exactly. Everyone's real happy about that.
Yeah. So perspective matters. Here I broke down like basically my revenue generated and royalty generated from each product type. So you can kind of see which ones are performing well, at least for me. And it shouldn't come as a surprise. Like I'm designing optimized for mainly t-shirts, mainly Amazon merch. So they're going to look best on t-shirts, hoodies, etc. And that reflects in my data here. So anyways, not to sidetrack, but as far as product types go, there's really no harm done, in my opinion, in like selecting everything and just having some look like crap that people will skip over. I think what matters a lot, though, is the default view in your shop, which is here at the bottom. And my screen, I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully it's in the live stream. But it's a default view in your shop. And I have it currently set to posters because I know that's going to look good. Depending on your design, like what colors you use in your design, like in Neil's tutorial video, which by the way is a lot shorter than this one. It's like 15 minutes and it covers everything. It's on YouTube on the Merch Informer channel. But you recommended stickers, I think. And you had some designs that were not like the standard white designs that I had here.
Right. And really well, and the thing is, you can set that to anything. You could just set it to image only, right? And it's just going to show you a little box. So it's really up to you and what you decide to do kind of with your Redbubble store in this case.
Yeah. So I'm going to use posters, though, because I know that's going to look good. It's going to take on all these settings perfectly. So that's what I had done when I was prepping for this. Posters look great. And actually, before we go over here to Uploader, let's go back to services and go to Printful real quick. And real quick, I'll breeze through how to get started with Printful. And by the way, if you don't have a Printful account, it's free. There's really no reason not to be on Printful. There's so much money to be made, and there's really no downside in most cases. Like you essentially get the order first from the e-commerce platforms that you integrate with. Like you talked about Etsy being a really popular one. And like if you start with the Etsy Printful integration, you're paying 20 cents per listing to Etsy. And when you get an order, assuming you priced it so that you have profit built in, there's really not much downside to speak of. Printful will detect the order automatically, fulfill it, etc. So
now the one thing I should mention is you do pay Printful to print that order and ship it to the customer, and then you'll get paid later on from the platform. So Etsy, for example. So let's say you get an order from Etsy, it automatically goes to Printful. You pay Printful the $12 to $15. They print it and ship it, and then maybe a week later you'll get your say $25 from Etsy, right. And there you go. There's your $10 profit. So you would basically attach a credit card. So if you have one with say points, cash back, a little bit of bonus every time you get a sale. Sure. So that's how that works.
Exactly. It's a game of margins. Don't sleep on getting a cashback credit card.
Yep.
Good point.
Well, I should also mention too is that on Etsy, customers are willing to spend a lot more money because that particular buyer is willing to pay like twice as much as Amazon. It's insane.
That's the Etsy rep, man. Yeah, for sure. Yep. It's something that I was taking advantage of. Unfortunately, I lost my Etsy account due to like IP infringements that weren't even true. Okay. But the automated system just knocked me off, and that was that. There's nobody to talk to. So
yeah. But the buyers over there, guys, if you're getting started with Etsy, like don't be afraid to price your shirt at like $27. Yeah. Like you'll sell at that price.
Yeah. Price it high, run a sale, offer free shipping. You can build all that into the price point. Like you can make like like Neil said, $10 profit per sale. So
yep.
But I went ahead and set up a Bonanza store since the Etsy account, even my demo Etsy account's not available. So in this case,
Bonanza, okay.
Yeah, Banana, I have not had.
I am not super familiar with that platform. I've just heard of it. Let me look it up.
I've got like 2,000 designs on my main account and 0 sales so far, but I'm kind of just blasting uploads all day, so it's like haven't been up there too long. But
one of the things I want to try, which full disclosure, haven't done it yet, is using Printful to push everything to eBay, because I know there's a bunch of buyers on eBay now. They might be.
I only do that different for my sellers, but yeah, it's free. I call it free money.
Free money. Yeah,
your profit, and you pay Printful to create the order, and you collect your money, and eBay actually pays you immediately. So in that case, there's no delay.
Yep.
Yeah.
eBay is an excellent platform. I need to take more advantage of it for sure.
Yeah, and one pro tip: I'm not logged into eBay, but they often, if you go to your seller dashboard, bottom left corner, they give you like 100 free listings a month. You have to click to activate. So do that.
Okay.
All right. So real quick though, to do Printful in this app, in the single upload interface, the first thing we're gonna have to do, I'm gonna hit clear because I had already set up my store. Is we need to provide our Printful store URL. So first thing you're gonna have to do is go to Printful and click choose platform. And we already showed the screen earlier, but like select one of these and set up your actual like store on the website. Like Neil mentioned, like actually manually upload up a design or two, a product or two, set up your billing, set up your payout, take care of all those things first. And once you have it set up, which I already have this set up, you can just click on the store itself. Notice we didn't actually leave Printful. We're on the Printful store page. And in the URL up here, it should say printful.com/dashboard/sync. Sorry, not stink. Store equals. So I'll paste the URL in here so you can see it, because I know it's hard to see. And it's going to look something like this. Store equals, and then gives you a number.
So it's everything up to the number. There's more in the URL, but you only want to copy through the number.
This is what the actual URL looks like. So it's got all this extra stuff. We're just going to chop that and keep this part. All right, so I'm going to jump over here again, paste that, hit save. And now we have a very wide selection of Printful product types. Which ones are you seeing the most success on?
I'm doing a lot of tank tops on Printful, but I should mention Printful has, I counted them the other day, 193 products. So if you have
expanding it,
yeah, and if you have 1,000 products, right, 1,000 unique designs, like that's 193,000 different designs you could have up on Etsy. I mean, they charge you, right? But yeah, you can put those on eBay.
Don't charge you like Banana.
Yeah. The one I really want to work on is Amazon through FBM, which we were talking about before we got on live. But they have so many products that Merch by Amazon doesn't, that Redbubble doesn't, that Teespring doesn't. Just because they don't have a marketplace, they're the print provider, and you connect them to different marketplaces.
Yeah, absolutely take advantage. You can see here real quick while you were talking, I went ahead and pulled up a sales report from 2019.
Screen share it.
Oh, screen share.
There we go.
It's only my second live stream ever, so
bear with month.
This is my sales report though, where I highlighted my Amazon FBM sales. So when I say FBM, that means fulfilled by merchant. It's not the same as FBA, where we like prepay for inventory, send it to Amazon warehouses. With FBM, it's like we connect Printful to Amazon, and literally, like we've kind of described, they do the work for us. After the sale comes in, it's kind of just like you can be sleeping. Printful detects the order, creates it, ships it, and we get paid. What's not to love? But I did $52,000 in sales on Amazon through Printful. I also have about 14,000 listings through Redbubble. So this is not like all encompassing. But this is just my 2019. And by the way, the profit number there that says 19,500, you always have to understand your margins. Amazon takes a fee out of every sale. They don't let us sell there for free. It probably works out to around 17%. So I just want to be transparent up front with you guys. Got to account for those. You got to know your marketplaces, right?
Very true. Very, very true.
So yeah, tank tops are great. I always love talking about the Gildan 64,000 personally.
That's the cheap one, right?
Yeah, it's the cheap one. That's probably what we should just refer to it as.
It's good margins there. Great margins.
I think, right? $795 base cost, I believe.
Something like, I think, they might charge you a little bit more for like the bigger sizes.
Oh yeah, they do.
But I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I think so.
They do, the big sizes. But anyways, not only is this a cheap shirt, I've done like a YouTube review of them. I ordered like basically every color and just kind of talked about how, in short, I'm a fan of this shirt. Like I'm wearing one right now.
They're comfy. They're very soft.
They're very soft. It's called a soft style shirt for a reason. They're fitted. They don't shrink that much. And also they're truly unisex. I sold at least probably 800 of these.
Nice.
to women on Etsy before I had about 3,000 sales on Etsy before my account got closed. And for sure, at least 800 were to women and another 800 at least were to men. Never had a single complaint about the unisex aspect of it. So I'm going to choose that. And now we just need to do what we basically did for Redbubble a second ago. And I honestly only do front print usually.
Same for me, man.
Yeah, but Printful gives you the ability, maybe this isn't something that people knew, they give you the ability to print on the back, on the sleeves. They even give you like the opportunity to do labels, but they will charge you more if you take advantage of those. So for front print, I'm going to select my image path header from the CSV file. Again, it's just pulling this from our CSV file right here. So image path is where we put the file paths. And I'm just going to scroll past the rest of the file options. And down here for data, I was already in here, so it's got title already selected, descriptions already selected, tags. Now you'll notice it says max 13. That's basically because you're probably selling via the Printful Etsy integration. That's, probably the most profitable one, I guess, other than like Amazon. But yeah, so max 13 is probably a good best practice there. And again, you would just map that to your tags header from your CSV. And price, again, match that up with your price column from your CSV. Just keep in mind, like if you want to run this a second time and change your product from like the Gildan 64,000 soft style shirt to the Bella Canvas 3001, probably the second most popular shirt that Printful makes available, the base cost of the Bella Canvas is something like $4 higher.
Yep. I think it's like $12.95, $13 something.
Yeah, so definitely take that into account. Go update your spreadsheet, like maybe up your price to like $23.99.
Yeah, another thing you could do too is you could just have two price columns, right? One price column you use for one product, the other price column you can use for another. For sure.
So in your CSV, just right click, go to shift rows right. And all right, I already messed this up. Maybe I shouldn't have copied those columns. But anyways, you guys get the point. You should be able to just like I'm not the Excel wizard that I think I am.
Don't worry, I'm not either.
Yeah, you should be able to just right click the header though and click insert, and then it inserts another column here. So we could say like price Gildan, and then maybe label the other one like price Bella. And then the price Bella would be the more expensive one to offset the difference in base cost on Printful, which if we just went to like add product really quickly, you can see what I'm talking about. So the Gildan 64,000 soft style base cost is $7.95. And right next to it to the left is the Bella Canvas 3001.
Yep.
Yeah, so we got those right. But if you do this, save your CSV, come on over to the CSV table and reload it. Just don't forget that part. All right. Oh, and I almost forgot to select colors. Whoops.
There we go.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and check black for now because I don't know. When I was testing it earlier, I had a little bit of trouble with it when I did multiple colors. So I'm going to do just black for now. And then sizes, no harm done in selecting all. So I'm going to do that. And I think we should be good to go now to go over to the uploader tab.
Yep, I think that's it.
And put this thing into action. So services by default will be blank. And what I'm going to do is check Printful and check Redbubble. And you actually have the option of not having it upload all of these products at once, which is cool because for purposes of this demo, I'm just going to do 2 and 2. That way you can actually see it work. So
if you click on show details as well under there, that's something I'd recommend you do before you click start uploading.
Cool.
just to make sure that, okay, this is the right image, these are the right tags, everything's matched up. Because the last thing you want to do is upload, you know, a shark t-shirt and you have like hardcore biking or swimming, you know, keywords. It would make no sense. It would probably make the platforms mad. So this is just kind of like a final step of, yep, I did everything correctly and we're good to go.
That's great advice. So if you're unsure, if you're going through this for the first time, you just want to make sure that like everything's good. Like if you're like me, you're about as comfortable as I am in Excel and you're confident that somewhere you've made a mistake, definitely expand details. And again, it just says show details, hide details, and just give it a once over before you start uploading. So I'm going to just select 2 shirts. I'll just select, or 2 designs. I'll select the top 2 for Redbubble, and I'm going to select the top 2 for Printful. And that way we can watch it go. It's not going to take too long. And I'm going to hit start uploading. Is there anything else that I forgot to do, Neil?
No, the one thing is you're probably already signed in to those platforms, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
If you're doing this for the very, very first time, you get to this step, you click start uploading. Every platform that you haven't logged into is going to prompt you to log in. So it's all the logging stuff is done on your computer. We don't see any of that for security reasons. And once you're logged in the first time, so it's going to open it up. It's going to say, hey, you have an account here. So see, he's logged in. It'll automatically close this in a second.
Yeah,
there you go.
Cool.
And then it'll start uploading
it's
to
not intrusive at all that it closes the browser. Yeah.
Yeah, and then from here you literally just sit back and it'll tell you exactly what it's doing. It'll upload all your products to where you want them to go.
Yep.
And basically just expand your business. I mean, I know this video is getting a little bit long, but once you understand what you're doing, you can set this up in 5 minutes and be uploading on your 6th minute. It's really, really easy to put together.
Yeah, it is. And even just like watching this upload it's going to upload 2 products to Redbubble, 2 products to Printful. When it's done, I'll show you that it worked.
There you go. Link was uploaded there. So if you just click the link, I don't know if you want to do that, but that'll show you in the account that everything is uploaded. So this should load that product.
It opens up my default browser, which
okay.
There. So I got to go over here to
go to Redbubble and just refresh then.
Yeah.
There you go. There they go.
I didn't set the hex color, I guess. Oops. So remember how I skipped the hex color in the uploader?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yep. I thought it would default to black, but I think it defaulted to the Redbubble default, and the Redbubble default is white. So that was my mistake.
So, I mean, again, guys, that's why I personally recommend you going through and doing it manually once. I mean, Ryan and I are kind of doing this on the fly, but just something to keep in mind. You see it's still tearing through. It went through the Redbubble uploads, and now it's working on the Printful ones. And when it's done, it will show that it's done, and you can go through and check them out, make sure everything's uploaded properly.
Yep. Yeah, that was my bad. When I did my tests, I did actually key in the I had keyed in a hex color.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
We reset it, and I didn't key in hex color, and I just assumed. And I mean, it correctly uses the Redbubble default, so that was my bad.
The another thing I should mention too is if you guys are just getting started, and I mean, I saw a comment earlier about, where do I get some designs? So with Merch Informer, if you have a pro level subscription that includes this tool we're going over, we also give people 100 hand-drawn vectors every single month that you can put on designs very, very quickly. And that's probably the easiest way to get started uploading to these platforms. Right here, as you can see, we actually take suggestions from people in that little suggestion box. And every month we compile those suggestions, put those together, and we actually get a real artist who sits down with a pencil and paper and draws all this stuff out. So it's not really like the random clip art you're going to find. We also put together a license for this stuff that allows you to use it, wherever you want. Because the license is the reason we did that. Just to be completely transparent, is so many people were buying these graphic packs on other platforms, and their license basically said, hey, you can only sell this 5 times. So if you read through this, it basically says do whatever you want, just don't resell them.
So it's done by the book, and that's good to know, because that is like one of the downsides of print on demand that sometimes people can get a little too greedy and follow the licenses. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. And it looks like we're already done. We've probably been done for a while. So and real quick, actually, I'm going to try to do something in Streamlabs. I'm going to try to run my 20% off Merch Informer promo code at the bottom of the screen. And that promo code is Ryan's Method, all one word. Not sure if it has to be all caps or not, but yeah, like I said,
head over to Printful just so we can show them that it
Sure,
is
yeah.
upload. I don't know if you set the integration up, but typically once
I
you
did.
upload this and you go to stores and you click on your store, you'll see it at the very bottom, and it looks like something.
All right, that's my bad.
Normally, what you'd see if the integration was set up on Ryan's side is that you would see a little like bar as Printful says, "Hey, I'm pushing it to this platform."
Yeah,
so
I actually selected those exact designs earlier.
Okay,
and that's why it's blocked them as duplicates. So that was the issue.
Yeah, so guys, just so you're aware, I know a lot of people are pushing this stuff to Etsy. Once it's uploaded through the single upload interface to Printful, you can typically refresh that page and you'll see, hey, it's pushing it to Etsy. Now, the one thing there is you need to pay 20 cents a listing on Etsy, but the tool isn't going to push the product live. It's going to push it into draft mode. Therefore, you have the control over, hey, do I want to pay 20 cents to list this, or do I want to just keep it in draft? Really important because you don't want to like run up your bill uploading thousands of designs. For sure.
And that's one of the things Printful does different than like Printify, one of their competitors, which will just publish it for you.
Yep.
And they probably have a support team dealing with questions all the time.
Ryan's Method is all in caps. So if you go over, there's a 3-day free trial. You can test all this stuff out completely free along with everything else. But you do need a pro level account to use the software we were just going over. But Ryan's Method in all caps.
Yep. Just come on over here to Merch Informer, hit pricing, and then select Pro, $19.99 a month, save 20%, and that's about it. Do you have anything else to add, Neil?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think the biggest thing is if you are just getting started on a merch, I'm assuming most people watching already have a few designs, is just getting them in front of the right buyer. So while this tool makes it incredibly easy to take your designs and spread them out, if I were to give one piece of advice, it'd be to actually spend the most time optimizing that file you upload, right? So like optimize your titles, make sure the tags are correct and decent and they're not just random. And once you have that, then you can actually get it in front of the right people and start making money on these other platforms. So like, as you said, you did like over $2,000 of free money in your pocket and you basically didn't have to work for that. You already used assets you already had.
The work was done, you know?
So that's kind of the biggest thing here is taking what you already have and just making more money from it.
Absolutely. And on that subject, while we put a bookend on this live stream, might as well use this as an opportunity to mention that I wrote a 10-module, 60-lecture course on what I call dropshipped print on demand. It literally covers exactly what I do to do what Neil just said, which is basically take designs that, you know, if I'm being honest, I made with selling on Amazon merch as the primary intention and maximize my ROI from those designs by uploading them to various other platforms. So that's out there. I'll drop a link in the description, or you just
you can. The thing is, you can take the money you made on these other platforms from the same design, so it's literally like zero risk to you. But you can take that money to actually expand your current business. So not only are you using the same designs to make more money, but you're using that money to make more designs that make more money, and you can just see exponential growth.
Yeah, let it
snowball.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well, I think
perfect.
I think everything that we wanted to cover. So.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, this is uploaded live to YouTube after we're off the live, correct?
Yes, and Facebook. So yeah, guys, feel free to hit me up in the comments.
Drop them below. If they're on YouTube, I'll probably swing around and look at them too. So if anyone has any burning questions, I'd be happy to answer them if Ryan cannot.
Yeah, and you know what I'm gonna do too is like I'll sticky your tutorial, which was 15 minutes long. It's
okay. It goes a little fast. This one was way more in detail, but perfect.
It worked for me, man. Like,
good.
You know, because I'm good at making things long and drawn out, and that video was perfect. It was exactly what you needed to get started. So
awesome.
Yeah, cool, man. All right,
well, all right, guys,
for being here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And
thank you to everybody that watched. I really appreciate it.
Has a good rest of your day.
Yeah, cool. All right, later, guys.
Later.